Now, I can say with 100% certainty that if you make the mistake that I'm going to be explaining in this video today, you will fail on your journey. I don't want to sugarcoat this for you, right? This is serious. The stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video today has the power to save you. One day, this information can save you on your journey. I have no doubt about it, because this is the video that I wish that I had heard back when I was still drinking alcohol, right? Just before I made the decision to start drinking again. Listen, if I had heard this video, it would have saved my damn life. So please don't take this video lightly. Please do watch it in full. And if you find it helpful, leave me a comment down below. Just be awesome to hear from you guys. And guys, just before I actually break this mistake down, if you want to get access to a free video training that shows you the strangest secret to controlling alcohol without AA, willpower, rehab, therapy, and so on, click the link in the description. That's probably the most in-depth video that I've ever made explaining how you can use first principles thinking to stop drinking alcohol. It's the strangest secret to controlling alcohol. Make sure to click the link in the description to get instant access to that. But for now, back to this video. Now, as you guys know, I drank for about 10 years. And basically, there was one thought that got into my psyche just before I made the decision to start drinking again, right? The relapse that I've had, it all started with this one thought. And I'm sure you're dying to know what that thought was. Well, the thought is that I could go back to controlling drinking again, right? This is what happened to me every time that I slipped up. I'd be at a party, I'd be around a lot of people drinking, and I'd have this conversation with myself, right? I'd get to the party and I wouldn't drink, right? But it was like everybody around me was drinking, having a good time, and before you know it, I'm having this conversation with myself where slowly, I'm starting to justify it. You can have one. Leon, you don't drink anymore. And it's like this battle in my brain, right? Until I basically come up with the great idea that, okay, well, we could drink tonight and then just control it, right? We could go back to what it was like when I was probably a teenager, the last time I was able to control my drinking, right? We can go back there. And listen, if you've been on this journey for a while, if you've stopped and started before, you've probably had the exact same conversation with yourself. And that's why it's so important for you to watch this video, because I will break down why it's just never going to happen, right? We're never going to be able to control our drinking, but you will understand that in a minute. But having this idea that I could go back to controlling drinking has caused me so much failure, so much pain, tens of thousands of dollars wasted, this one little thought. Now, what we've got to understand is that if we do entertain that thought and we decide to then take a drink, guess what happens? Probably nothing. You know, we probably have a few drinks that night. The next day we wake up and maybe we don't drink for 3 more days, 4 more days, another 2 weeks. But then a couple of weeks passes and then we think, well, hang on, I can drink again now. You know, nothing went wrong. You know, things are fine. So I'll take another drink. And then what happens? 3 days pass, 4 days pass, 5 days pass. We do it again. No problem, still. 4 days pass, 5 days pass, again. And slowly but surely, it becomes a very subtle but slippery slope downwards. And that's what happened to me, right? It was a subtle but slippery slope downwards until I basically fell off a cliff, right? It was like slowly, vroom, and then things just went really bad. And I have no doubt that if I was to try and control my drinking again, the chain reaction would start, right? Because that's all drinking alcohol is. It's a chain reaction. It starts with one drink, which leads to another and another and another and another. It doesn't make a difference how big the gaps are. It's still the same chain reaction, right? These normal drinkers that you see that just have a few drinks here and there, they're still on this chain reaction where they're still addicted to a drug for most of their life. Once we stop that chain reaction, right, the problem is solved. The only way that it can start again is if we have this conversation with ourselves that we can control it, we take that first drink, and then boom, the chain reaction starts again. And do you want to know what the craziest thing of all is? Is that we don't have these thoughts necessarily when things are bad, right? I'm sure that can happen, you know, divorces, family members passing away, you know, losing clients, whatever it is, you know, demotions, losing our job. I'm sure that people do drink when bad things happen. But what has happened for me is I don't get these thoughts when things are bad, right? If I've stopped drinking and my life's a mess, I'm busy fixing it, right? But then this is the bad thing. Once things get fixed, that's when these thoughts start coming back, right? It doesn't happen when things are bad. It happens when things are going well. It happens when I'm healthy. I'm waking up early. I've got money in the bank. Things are going well. I've got a relationship. I've got friends again. Things are going extremely well. That's when I start having these conversations with myself. That's when I look around at my life and I say, hey, things are great now. Gonna be fine if I drink, you know, no problem at all. And that is what has made me slip up so many times. However, just under 4 years ago, when I actually stopped drinking, that's when everything changed because I made an all-in decision to never entertain one of those thoughts again. Because what we've actually got to understand is that these thoughts, they don't just come out of thin air. It's usually a gradual process that happens over the course of a few weeks or a few months, where what we do is we get these thoughts of alcohol being a good thing and we start entertaining them, right? We might see a friend drink. We might be around a normal drinker. We might see a really charismatic individual that also drinks alcohol and their life is perfectly fine. And that's when we can almost start these little conversations with ourselves, like, oh, maybe it would be okay. And then we don't address these conversations that we have with ourselves, right? We have these thoughts and then we don't recognize this thought pattern that's going to start snowballing, right? And that's what we've got to be so careful of, right? I still get thoughts of alcohol. I still think about alcohol. But what I never do is I never explore these thought patterns. As soon as the thought comes into my mind of, oh, alcohol, it's already gone. I've already thought, well, I don't do that anymore. I'm done. I never go that direction in my mind because now I can recognize it because I know the insanity of our brains, right? If we start entertaining those thoughts, if we start looking at successful people, charismatic people, likable people that have their entire lives together and they drink alcohol, if we start buying into that illusion again, it's game over. I don't want to sugarcoat that because that is the reality, right? If we go that direction in our mind, guess what happens? It becomes a craving. Before you know it, we're at a party, we're at a christening, we're at a wedding, somebody offers us a drink and we say, screw it. I don't want that for you, right? I want you to be 100% sure that you are not going to go down that path again. Once you've made that decision, that is it. But the most important thing is if you have made that decision, recognize these thought patterns early. Don't allow them to snowball. Don't allow them to get out of control. And to me, that is the game changer. That's why I've been able to stay sober for just under 4 years and really build this epic life for myself because I do not entertain those thoughts and neither should you. Have a great day.